Well, it is officially Wednesday at 4 o'clock, so you know what that means. It is time to quarantine with Quinn, and I am your host, Quinn Conyers. And if you are brand new to me, I broadcast the brilliance of Black women in business. I show them how to turn conversations into cash so they can profit from public speaking virtually and in person. And let me tell y'all something. I'm excited. Like, I'm sitting here with a pen ready. I got a notebook, pad, even though I know when we do interviewing, who we have coming to the stage as our special guest. I'm telling you, when I first met her, like when I say fell in love, like I was about to propose. Like I knew she had a whole husband, but I was about to get down on one knee, like we go together. She was singing my song, she was doing my dance. So if you want to know how you can literally run and have a 6 or 7 figure business or brand and not be a celebrity, you want to make sure that you tune into this. Share this out. I don't know if you're catching us live or if you're going to catch us at your leisure, but either way, this is definitely an episode that you do not want to miss. And again, if you are just like, oh my gosh, who is Quinn? What is going on? It's all good. You are in the right place if you are a Black woman in business, but you're also passionate about making a profit from public speaking. And if it's your first time catching me, go ahead and put first time in the comments. However, if you've been rocking and rolling with me since I started this podcast in March of 2020, when that quarantine hit, that means you are officially family. So you can go ahead and put tribe in the comments. So as we get ready to dive into today's topic, because I am super excited, I want to kind of give you some insight and background on who is coming to the stage. Because a lot of y'all getting blinded by people out here. Y'all be thinking that because people put up videos and pictures, they are the real deal. There's a lot of people out here making major moves, and you may or may not know them, right? There are people out here changing lives and coaching and training and speaking that are really great at what they do. And I just love meeting who I call, some of these hidden gems. Some of them might be brand new to you, and some people you might not know. But either way, this is a person, a woman who I'm just, like I said, excited to have and share her, right? Because I know how great she is. I've been to some of her stuff. I heard her speak. Okay, I've been to, a few things that she's had, but I'm grateful to introduce her to some of you, and some of you may already know her, which is going to be a refresher for you. So today's guest is Miss Ari Squires. And if you're not familiar with who she is, or if you already know who she is, you already know it's about to go down. Here's what I need you to understand. There's a huge difference between understanding your market and making sure your market understands you. It is not easy task, and it's not easy to implement. However, once you master it and you open up doors to your brand's peak performance that you knew were never possible. So if you thought in your mind that I want to make 6 or 7 figures, how can I do that? You want to tune into this conversation, because the tools that you're going to pick up from today are the same tools that Ari Squires has used to help her clients build brands that other brands want to be. Okay, brand envy is what I'm going to call that, right? She's become an ally to 6 and 7 figure brands, guiding them on how to improve and leverage their brand experience, which grows their market share, increases their profits, efficiencies, and builds lasting relationships with customers. Okay, you can use these tools to empower yourself, your business, and live up to the content you're displaying in your marketing. So I'm excited to welcome brand manager Ari Squires, the CEO of the Profit Attraction Academy, as she breaks down how to effectively build brand equity to transform and refine your brand positioning, messaging, and marketing effectiveness. Let me just say something that's not on the bio, y'all. Hope y'all ready for this. You know how I get all those compliments about my revenue room, and y'all like really thought that I made that up? No, this is the person who inspired me to have a revenue room, okay? And the thing about it is, I thought that I was a fancy word for an office. She's like, no, Quinn, I have a revenue room and I have an office. So every time y'all give me compliments about my revenue room, Ari Squires is the person that you have to thank for that. So Miss Ari, welcome to Speak Black Women podcast.
Hey, thank you, Quinn. Thank you for having me. And that was such a lovely introduction. Thank you. Thank you.
You are welcome. So for those of you, I know you're already kind of tapping in right now. Okay, my audio is not good. Hold on.
No, it's good now.
Let me just say that.
Yeah, once I come in, it's good now.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so here's what you need to know. Kimberly, let me know. We got some people who are joining in. Hopefully the audio is okay now. Let me just mute and unmute a second.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Perfect. So I was was actually introduced to you by Robert Y.B. Youngblood. I don't know if you remember this, but he was telling me about you, and he was going on and on and on. And I'm just like, okay, let me look you up. And one of the things that you might not remember is you had like a master class in DC on a Sunday. And I was like, on a Sunday, what is going on? So I drug my friend with me. I'm like, she's having this on a Sunday. What is going
Yeah.
on? So that's going to be where I want to start this conversation, right? When it
Mhm.
comes to building a 6 or 7 figure brand and you're
Mhm.
not a celebrity, how effective it is to think outside the box, because you are the onlyness. I know that's not a word, but you are the only person I know who had a full-fledged workshop on a Sunday night. And I feel like that's a testament to how just of an outside of the box thinker you are. So when it comes to, again, building this 6 or 7 figure brand, is being outside the box a necessity?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that I'm a firm believer of going against the grain in your marketing and your positioning and building your brand equity. And so, with so many people doing what we do in this, in whatever it is you do, there's hundreds, thousands, probably millions of people doing what you do. So you have to stand out. And so my thing is, I like to look and see what everybody else is doing, and then do something completely opposite of that, so that I establish this unique brand. And I think that's important, because then you're taken seriously. You again, you stand out, and you're building this high value entity that people notice differently. So that's been my thing.
Absolutely. My husband was just like, "You going to a workshop on a Sunday?" I'm like, "Yes." Like I had to show, because it was like so outside the box,
Yeah.
which got my attention. So I know you've probably been asked this question, a million times, but I still feel like some people struggle with what is a brand versus marketing versus business. And if
Mhm.
you had to define, having a brand, according to Ari in 2021, what does that mean? What does having, a brand mean? And what is that really in your terms?
Wow, there's so many definitions. I think a brand is what you take with you. It's who and what you are. That means no matter what you do, no matter what space you're in, you can maneuver, you can move, you can pivot, you can switch, you can completely start over. But you still have this brand, this thing, this message, this persona, this perception, even in the world, in the universe, as an entrepreneur, that people know you as, that you have established, that you have controlled. And that's the thing about branding. You control the brand, you control the
Mm.
message, you control that. So it's basically, in a nutshell, what people say about you when you're not in the room. And I think we've heard that before, but that's what a brand is. And so it does have, your marketing plays a part in it, but your brand is that soft spot. You know what I'm saying? It's like that intimate piece. That's a brand.
Yeah, I love that. And for those of you who are, brand new to Ari, some of you might know her. I love your brand. And how would you describe your brand? Because I feel like it's so eclectic and different that it's a little bit disruptive. And I remember, like I said, I've told you I was about to propose. I was on one knee. I'm like, I love this girl. She's amazing. Where she's been all my life is you talk about building businesses offline, that
Mhm.
offline money. So does your brand, talk about that, how you built your brand, especially using offline marketing strategies?
Yeah. And I think that is what sets my brand apart. To answer your first question, that's what makes my brand unique. Is that like I said earlier, I always go against the grain. And so many people are teaching social media, buy ads, do all of these things. You hear the same stuff over and over again. Now, I'm not saying that stuff doesn't work, because I utilize a lot of that too. Facebook ads, building funnels, and things like that. However, I've been an entrepreneur for over 20 years. So that means I've been in the game making money, 6 figures, way before Facebook, even before MySpace. You know what I'm saying? So I built businesses and 6 figure brands offline, old school way of marketing, picking up the phone, building relationships, sitting in round tables, executive meetings, and all of these. It still works, and people forget about it. And that's what people, especially when I'm working with celebrities, they love that about me, that I actually pick up the phone and call to do a deal. right? And what I've learned, that's why in 2020, because I always forget what year we're 2020, I was able to reach my first year in doing 7 figures because during a pandemic is because everybody was pivoting online, right? Everybody was pivoting, trying to figure this out, trying to see, I already had an offline brand already established. So for one, everything just kept moving, but then I intensified it even more. I knew that all those executives, all of those people that I wanted to work with, all those thought leaders, all those people that I couldn't reach because they was flying all around the world pre-pandemic, I knew they were at home. I knew they were at home. So I had a very high chance of them picking up the phone, answer my DM, answer my email, because everybody was trying to still get paid. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I took advantage of that. And I utilized offline marketing.
Oh, I just love it. I love it. I remember, I think I was like in the middle or ending up a coaching program.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend actually did take advantage of your program while we were there. And she was just like,
Mm-hmm.
listen, I'm about to pay for this and invoice you. I'm like, all right, all right. I feel like she gonna be worth it. I love that. So yes, offline. And you're right. People are so afraid of the telephone. We're so afraid of, we always trying to slide into somebody's DMs, or we're trying to do it, through Facebook ads. So I just love your original approach to, taking it back to the basics. And you mentioned that you have 20 years of doing this. I know y'all looking at her like, yeah, she got a baby face, but she's seasoned, y'all. She knows what she's doing. She black don't crack. We out here, like, you know what I mean? Like we age like fine wine. Because I know somebody's thinking like, wait a minute, she just got started. No, she ain't new to this. She been doing it for a while.
A long
Um,
time, a long time.
which I love. So let's talk about this. How important, because this is a Speak Black Women podcast, and one of the things that I am very intentional about is making sure that the voices of Black women in business are seen and heard. When it comes to your brand, how has your voice been leveraged in your business? Because a lot of times Black women are afraid to speak up. We don't want to be boastful. We don't want to share that we made 6 figure, 7 figure, or a figure, right? We want to keep all that stuff close. So how important has Ari's voice been in your brand?
Very important. I would say my voice is a huge part of my brand. And so many people are attracted to my brand because I do speak up and I do speak my mind, and I don't care. Not that I don't care if I hurt somebody's feelings. I just don't care how people necessarily may feel about me. See, women, we have this natural, Black women too, we have this natural, and it's not a bad thing, but we have this natural way of wanting to please people and hold everything on our shoulders and want to take on the world. But we care a little too much about how people think about us. And you see that all the time, especially with social media, right? But I don't. And I really don't. And that's because I've done the work on myself. And if I believe in something, I believe in it. No one has to agree. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I speak my mind. I cuss a lot, and I'm just myself, and I'm authentic. It's kind of like the Cardi B brand, not like that, but I'm saying like how a lot of people admire her because she is who she is. She doesn't try to code switch. She doesn't try to be somebody else, and that's attractive to my audience. My audience, honey, listen. When we get in here in my masterminds, in my revenue room, we can authentically be ourselves, and just there's no facade, there's no fakeness. And I feel like because of that, that's when you create, and not create, but attract real opportunities to you. Because if you're out there being fake and your voice, you're lowering your voice because of whatever fears or stories you keep telling yourself, you're blocking your blessings. So show up 100% authentic, and then you'll receive 100% authentic what's for you, period. I think that's
Yes.
yeah.
I love every minute of it. And it's interesting because what you're saying to me is I don't need a co-signer. I like Ari the way she is and how she shows up authentically. And a lot of people don't have that, right? They don't have that. They just don't have that kind of self-awareness or self-love, that they don't have to kind of be checking for comments and likes to know that what they're doing is valuable. So I love that. So I'm going to go to the comments just for a second. It says, I love it. I was just telling someone a few months ago that it's time to go back to old school way of marketing and really getting acquainted with people offline. That's my thing for 2021. Thank you for confirming that, Ari. All right. They are loving you. Also, preach. You can't care what people think about you. That's their problem, not yours. Okay. I love it. Authenticity, energy, attraction is key. So, no, that's so good. So, okay. So, people, when it comes to making creating a 6 or 7 figure brand, right? And I say this all the time, people want to be a millionaire, but they don't know how to be a thousandaire. right? So
Mhm.
where do you start? Like, how do you grow? Like, what are some of the things that are like in place if you want to have this 6 or 7 or even 8-figure brand? Let's go ahead and speak that into existence. What
Yep.
is some of the foundational things that an entrepreneur or a speaker needs to keep in mind if they want to scale to that level?
Number one, a very, very clear vision on paper, on
Mhm.
paper, and your financials got to be on point. How the heck can I say hell? How the hell are
Mhm.
you going to reach six figures? What does that look like? Is that 100,000 or is that 999,000? Right? What is that? No one, and I know this for a fact because I didn't either when I first started my business. No one's doing the numbers. No one has, most entrepreneurs don't have Excel spreadsheets, which I do, where I have goals for, I'm already working on 2023. People out here talking about, oh, 2021 about to be my year. Oh, bump that. I've been planning for 2021 2 years ago. That's because I have financial projections. How you going to get to the money if you don't have budgets, if you're not, if you're not pre-planning your launches and your programs and all these, but the money is important. People just, oh, I want to create the products, I want to market the products, I want to speak, I want to sell my products, but there's no money behind it. There's no financial plan. So those are the two things you need: a very clear vision on paper. And a lot of people need to decipher what the difference is between their vision and their mission, because a lot of people don't even know that. This is business one-on-one. But
Mhm.
because it's so easy to become an entrepreneur, which I love, and I'm so happy to see so many Black women becoming entrepreneurs because I have more people to support. I have more ways to spend my money. I love it. I love it. But we gotta go back to the basics, right? We have to do the planning, and the financial part is the biggest part of the plan.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And that's why I sometimes I cringe when I hear people say 6 figures. I'm like, is it 104,000 or is it 729,000? Like those numbers are not created equal. You know what I mean? We gotta break this down. And I heard somebody.
Strategy per element. Like, it's a different strategy. Like 8 figures, okay, yeah, that's what we're planning for 2024. What does that look like numbers?
Correct.
You have to have it, you have to see it, you have to set these daily targets, monthly targets, quarterly targets, annual targets, and then plan strategically for it, which is what I help my clients do. We start with the numbers first and then we work backwards.
I love it. I love it. And Dee Bowden just joined us. She says, hey, Quinn. Hey, Ari. She's telling us happy Wednesday. She is here live. And again, if you are listening to us, this is the Speak Black Woman podcast. Some of you guys are going to be catching us live, catching this replay. And some of y'all might be listening at your leisure. You done downloaded us on your iPhone or your Android, and you're catching that as well. Thank you for doing that. I get all your emails, and I appreciate the guests that you love. And we're talking to Ari Squires, and she's telling us how we can create a literally 6 and 7-figure brand without being a celebrity, which we all need to be tuned in. And she just talked about how you have to be clear on your vision and have it on paper, not in your mind. It can't be a hope, a wish, or a prayer on a balled up napkin. Let's be real. We're going to have to get real intentional about that, and also have some financial projections. One of the things that I hear a lot, and I feel like because you mentioned it as well, is a lot of women, especially Black women, are starting businesses.
Mhm.
And what people don't realize is, on average, a Black woman full time makes $24,000 a year in her business. Compared to her counterparts, it's $142,000.
Mhm.
Now, in order for you to get to that 6 or 7-figure mark, do you need either a mentor or B, a coach? And the reason why I ask this question is because sometimes we get those two terms very confused. I
Mhm.
hear people talking about, I need a mentor, I need a mentor. And then I start asking questions like, nah, boo, you need a coach. A mentor is somebody who can give you some insight when they have time. A coach is accountability. So what would you say to that woman who is trying to get to that 6 or 7-figure mark? Do they need a coach? Do they need a mentor? Or do they need a combination of both?
So definitely the combination of both. Yeah. And then they also need to know too, I would say probably okay, let's just say 7 days a week. I would say 4 days out of 7 days, someone is asking me to be their mentor. Your mentor chooses you, and you're
Mm.
selected by the work that you put in that your coach tell you to do. So you need not tell you to do, but advises you and strategizes and help you perform and hold you accountable to do. So that's the difference. Your coach is definitely that person that holds you accountable, puts together that strategy, has experience. They've accomplished what you want to accomplish. They are where you want to be, that kind of thing. Those are the people that you invest in. I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in coaches. My mentors, they chose me. Stephen Graham, before we were talking about the OWN Network, and Stephen Graham, who's Oprah's boyfriend, he's just one of my most favorite mentors because he chose me. He just saw my drive, my determination, and your mentors want to help you. They want to support you, and you call on them when you need them, or they'll call on you when they need you. And it has to be a win-win relationship both ways, even with a coach or a mentor. But yeah, you definitely need both. You definitely need both.
I love that. And you said something so profound, you know what I mean? Because people ask me too, and I just be like, huh? In my brain, again, I'm still growing, I'm still moving, but people see where you are and they envy it. So I always take it as, a compliment. But you said something about your mentor chooses you, which I love. I think that's very, very important, and not just having one or the other, but both are a combination. And what I feel about mentors especially is there's people who I call that are mentors in my mind, right? They don't know me from a can of paint, but I'm watching, I'm learning, I'm absorbing. And I think nowadays, some of our are just lazy. You asking questions that's already been in that person's book. You asking questions. If you just watch one of their lives, you get the answer. So I'm just like, listen, you ain't got to tell me. I can watch what you do. Like literally, I'm like, okay, Ari got a revenue room. Guess who's gonna have a revenue room? Quinn. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say, so how'd you pick out those colors? Which chairs? I ain't gonna waste your time with that. I'm just like, I have what I call mentors in my mind, different people that I learn from, and they ain't got to pick up the phone. They just gotta be.
Yeah.
They just gotta be.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. I'm saying that's how I feel about Ava DuVernay, honey.
She don't know y'all go together, but y'all go together, right?
That is my boo, honey. That's my boo.
I love it. I love it. So hold on. Hey, Corinne, this is my best friend, y'all. She says, first time watching you live. I love hearing you speak. Keep uplifting us Black women. I love that. So when it comes down to, because people are tuning in, right? They're going to catch the replay. They're going to listen at their leisure because they're interested in growing and creating a 6 or 7 figure brand. So what are some of the things that you see that people are doing that's a massive mistake? You're like, yeah, don't do that. Because we talk about what you should be doing, but what are some of the common mistakes that entrepreneurs, especially Black women, are making in regards to their brand they might not even be conscious or aware of that's hurting them?
Yeah, I think one, to be popular. You see my sweatshirt?
Girl, I did see it.
It's popular, paid over popular, right? And that's a big mistake for a lot of people. But social media has messed up our egos. It kind of messed up, especially entrepreneur. You got to remember, I started 20 years ago. So I don't care about being popular. I don't care about being known. I don't care about the likes. I don't care about the followers. That's what people are doing wrong, right? Number one, in my opinion. You got to focus on the money. Period. You're an entrepreneur, you are a business, you have to focus on the money. Another thing that I see a lot of people doing wrong when it comes to what I call building your brand equity, which is the value in your business, which will help you produce a high income brand, is the value that you bring to your marketplace. Period. In another period, is that they say yes to every single opportunity. And so I call that not protecting your brand. You understand? So like, let me give you an example. I saw someone post a few times, hey, I'm doing a book anthology. Who wants to be a part of it? And you have all of these blind sheep saying me. They don't know anything about the anthology. They don't know who else, what other nutcase or somebody that you don't want to have your name, your brand attached to is going to be a part of it. They don't even have all the information, but they're so eager to be popular.
Right.
It's backwards. Popular, that they're making these, and this is because what I call, they don't have a vision. Let's just go back to that. They don't have a clear enough vision for where they want to be. So they say yes to every opportunity. So those are some of the things that I see.
Listen, they are loving you in the comments. Kimberly says exactly. Eric says you are talking. Hold on, I can't even keep up fast enough. Dr. Bonita says if those likes not converting, truck that. I think she wants to say that, right? But we gonna keep it PG for the people. Also, quality over quantity, and you're so right. And people are definitely eager. But you just said something that was so important about brand equity. Like I never thought about it like that. So that's probably an aha moment for me is you got to be careful what you attach your name to, because if the whole project is mess, your name is going down in that mess as well. So you can't say yes to everything. And you're right. I think that people just want to make it. They want to be put on. But like you said, you've been doing this for 20 years. And what people don't understand is it takes 10 years of hard work to become an instant success.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they see Ari now, but they might not see Ari, 20 years ago when you're trying to, figure it out. So what do you say to those people who are like trying to rush this process? It's like they want the Thanksgiving meal, but they want it in microwavable time. Right.
Yeah.
It takes time to build a 6 and 7 figure brand. So what would you say to that person about being patient with the process to get there?
I would say remove that marshmallow mindset. And I can tell you a quick story. There was a psychologist who did I guess a test. And so he had a couple marshmallows and he offered one child a marshmallow and said, hey, I'm going to give you this marshmallow. Give me one marshmallow and you can have it today. Or I can give you 2 marshmallows tomorrow. Which one do you want? You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Me, I'm like, I want the 2 marshmallows tomorrow. You get what I'm saying? I'm willing to wait to eat more. So I say, be patient, you guys. And I just put this in my stories. Just continue to take steps. And I know y'all heard this before, but it's so true. There's no such thing as microwave success. It's really crock pot success. That's what it really is. Keep taking steps. You have to be consistent, period. Consistent with your message, consistent with your purpose, consistent with your audience, just consistent all the way around the board. And you will naturally grow. Like you didn't have this revenue room. You didn't have this space, this platform when I met you, which was like 2 years ago. So it's growth. It's a process and you just have to trust it and stop, girl. Just stop thinking that it's going to happen overnight. There's no such thing.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that. And you're so right. And again, it's like there's information all around us. And I've been playing around a lot on Clubhouse. It's like my new like borderline addiction, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things they were talking about is being very weary of everybody's voice because everybody has an opinion. And if you are always like kind of sucking things in, then you lose your voice in that process because you're just absorbing so much information that you don't execute. Right. So you're just out here just taking it in, but then there's nothing kind of coming out. And, as I continue to grow, because people are always pulling at me, as I'm sure they're pulling at you. And I'm like, listen, I got to focus out because y'all doing a million things. It got to be in alignment. You know what I mean? So let's talk about that. You mentioned brand equity. How important is brand alignment to reach, that 6 or 7 figure mark? And the reason why I say that is because people are out here, they think about these multiple streams of income, but they drive an Uber on Monday, they selling fried chicken on Fridays, they're accounting on a Thursday, and on Sunday, they do praise and worship for tips, right? Like it doesn't work like that. So talk about having brand alignment when it comes to reaching that 6 or 7 figure mark.
Yeah, brand alignment has to be strategic, like all the way around the board. That's why you have to put together your vision and your plan so you work backwards, right? So with brand alignment, it's okay to have different businesses. Girl, I have 4 businesses, but guess what? My ideal customer, her name is Shauna. Shauna fits in all 4 of those businesses. I can help her in all. I have something for her in all 4 of those businesses. So Shauna, her lifetime value is really long. You get what I'm saying? Because I can help her with building her brand equity. I can help her, of course, make money in her business. I can help her with her business finances. I can help her publish her book. I can help her do live events. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different things that happen. Like I have one client, he's a doctor. He came to me just for me to write his book. Then I helped him become a speaker. Then I helped him do live events. Then his marketing strategy. So yes, you can do a lot of different things, but they have to fit and make sense to your main target audience, period.
I love it. That's what I call repeat revenue. When you get one client and just take them from different aspects of the business, which I love. So Eric,
has to be strategic. It really has to be strategic.
Yeah, no, I agree. You just can't be out here hoping, wishing, and praying that it works. It has
Yeah.
to be strategy behind it. So Eric says success happens over time, not overnight. Dr.
Mhm.
Bohemia says, I'm officially getting me a revenue room. I told my honey I wanted a she shed, but I think I'll scrap that. Exactly. Get yourself a revenue room and then post it and then tag me and Ari so we can take a look at it. We will love that. So that'd be good. Okay. So Eric says this is good teaching. You speaking real good. Listen, this is hilarious. So I love it. Okay. So I talked a little bit about brand equity and brand alignment and getting to that, but you have done some things that I'm just like super just like from afar, like slobbering, like, oh my God, yes. I'm like clapping in the background.
Thank
Tell us a little
you.
bit more about No More Chains
Yeah.
and that movement, and what you were able to do because
Mhm.
you working with people who like people are like watching and you like
Yeah.
in the same space asking questions. So tell everybody about what No
Mhm.
More Chains is about.
Yeah, well, No More Chains, it comes from my brand, Release the Chains, which is kind of how I started getting into this space of coaching. And it was just a part of helping my people release their mental, emotional, and generational chains so we can be great in this world, you know? And that's just removing all those blockages and all those stories we keep telling ourselves, the victim mentality, and so on and so forth. And so I created a book, it went to an event, and then it became a documentary.
Documentary?
And
Yeah.
so I'm a filmmaker. And so in that space, I'm a producer. I'm working on some television shows here in Atlanta. But No More Chains is just it's a movement. It's a movement to help people free themselves from themselves, right? And so we're working on our third documentary. It's going to be amazing. I'm kind of keeping quiet because, I call it silent money. You want to move in silence. Sometimes you got to manifest silently, but I'm working on the third documentary now. But it's been amazing. And so when you're doing something great, I met John Singleton, rest in peace. He, Boys in the Hood. He was one of my mentors when it comes to the film industry, because I love the way that he's so raw and authentic in his storytelling. And he's from the West Coast. I'm from Cali. And he said, tell your heart stories. Those stories that mean the most to you, that are, like this burning desire in your spirit and your soul. Those are the stories you want to sell. Those were the ones that will touch the people the most. And that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing in that space.
I love it. No, that's so good. And you're so right because I think that when people create those stories, I don't think they mean to like this is going to be a cult classic or this is
Mhm.
going to be a box office hit. I think it's like I am telling my story from my truth, and then
Mhm.
that's the ones that we fall in love with,
Yeah.
right? So it's not like let me just see if I can do this movie and make $1 million off of it. I don't think it's like that. It
It's
happens when you're true to yourself.
Yeah, and it's not. It's about the people because that's who's gonna watch it, and that's who the message you want to resonate with the people. And if they love it, then of course naturally the money's gonna come. And so just fortunately, our No More Change. You guys can check it out. It's on Comcast, Roku, Amazon Prime, so like all of that stuff under Quelly TV, and that's amazing to be able to go to my TV, put my name in there, and my director Ari Squires and Ari Squires film. It's just I cry every time I see it because it's just unbelievable. Because I went to school, I went to Howard University in
Ain't
communication.
you?
Yeah. And so it's just a beautiful thing that I do. I don't talk about it a lot, but I am. I've worked with some amazing producers and directors and actors that we all know and love. But that's just a part of showing up. A part of showing up, releasing the chains, and just showing up authentically being you.
Yeah, I love it. And that's honestly, when I saw like the different pots that you had your hand in, I'm like, this
Mhm.
girl is amazing, you know?
Yeah.
And it's funny because I don't always follow the followers. I like to see the people who are making moves. So it's
Mhm.
like when I know that and I could just feel like genuine, I could feel like authentic. And like I said, when YB was like, you gotta check out Ari, she went to Howard. I was like, well, I went to Howard. So that's always a plus, right? So you had me to Howard, right? So the more I began to kind of follow and like, learn and kind of be in your presence and see how you like moved, I was like, oh yeah, she is definitely the real deal. And it's good to have people like that because it's a lot of facades out here. There's people out here, faking it. And there's people out there who are really doing it. And sometimes sadly, the people who are really making the major moves don't always get the credit that I feel like that they deserve.
Mhm.
Um, so when it comes down to like building, this 6 and 7 figure brand,
Mhm.
what are your thoughts on making sure that you are putting your due diligence in, you are putting in the work, right? Because you got to some of these tables, but I'm sure, I'm not saying that you started as like, just the errand woman, like you were an intern, you know what I mean? But how important is it to kind of like paying your dues and learning the industry and studying under people so you can kind of be actually prepared for that opportunity? How
Yeah.
important is that?
I say you got to know, you got to become the guru of your marketplace. Like you have to know every single thing there is to know, the new trends, the old trends, the latest trends. You have to really study. You have to read. People don't like reading anymore. It's just become this thing. Most people just don't like to read, and statistics show that most people only read like what they say, me 33% of some Americans read or something. We got to read. The knowledge, like you said, is in the books. Check out the documentaries, but you got to put the work in. So I'm very strategic. Like all the partnerships that I've had, from the mentors, the people who have come on my stages, the people that I've collaborated with, started business with, I'm super strategic about it because I know where I'm going, even though it shifts a little bit, right? But I'm just very clear and intentional. So that's it. Just do the work. Like put the work in to study your craft, become the guru. And I don't mean by guru, I don't mean popular. I mean that guru, like that guruism is what I call it. What sets you apart, what makes you better, what makes you improve, what enhances what you do in this world. And that's so important. Like study, study, study. Don't think that it's just gonna come just because you have a gift. Michael Jordan had a gift. Michael Jackson had a gift. Tina Turner had a gift, Beyonce had a gift, but they worked the hardest out of any and everybody in their marketplace, in their field. And that's how you gotta be. That's how you gotta
Yes. Oh my gosh. Absolutely.
be.
So Dr. Bonita says Ari is the business. I absolutely love her energy and drive, and her realness is unmatched. I love it. Yeah, I told y'all, listen, when I was doing this, I was like, there is no way I can do this podcast without having her. So I'm just grateful, that you said yes. So I'm going to share a story that Ari, she may or may not know, but they almost had me acting a whole fool. And usually I can keep myself pretty calm and collected, right? So there is an organization that I'm a part of called Heal a Woman to Heal a Nation, y'all. And Mathina, James Brightful, and Monica and Nance have run this organization. So I've spoken at this event. I've been an ambassador. I have done every single role, to serve, because I just believe that part of growing is serving, your fellow woman, right? So Ari, I'm looking at the sheet, right? So this is about maybe 2 years ago at Heal a Woman, Heal a Nation, I want to say. I can't remember. I think it was definitely not last year. So
Yeah.
it was like 2 years ago. So they had me, I think at the time I was doing speaker support, but Ari was not assigned to me. But I looked through the entire list and say, oh, no, no, no. So I'm looking through the speakers. I'm like, I know Ari. I know, like, I'm seeing people that I recognize. So let me tell y'all something, y'all. Y'all want to see Quinn go from Save to Savage? Y'all want to see that? That happens when, because I'm a speaker, right? So I know how you should treat someone. So let me tell y'all something. Can I tell the story, Ari? How they almost made me mad?
Yeah.
So Ari comes to the hotel that we're at in Baltimore, and she's ready to do her thing again because she is the real deal. The people that they had assigned to her just didn't know what they were doing, right? So she gets there and they're like all over the place. They're scuffling, like trying to figure out what to do with her. And I think I'm like, doing something else, probably getting somebody Propel water when they ask for Dasani. That's what I do. Getting somebody a straw, and they're like, "Can you do it?" Yes, because you give them what they asked for, and you guys want to be at the head, but you don't know how to serve. That's a whole other story for another day, another podcast. So, long story short, they're like, we got like this message, like Ari was here, but they weren't sure what to do with her, so we don't know where she's at anymore. When I say my little 5-foot self was like, what happened? I was like, no, this is what we do. This is a woman empowerment conference. What do you mean you didn't know? So I'm immediately like in her DMs, like, I am so sorry. I'm not sure what happened. When you come back, ask for me. Yeah. And I literally was like, I put somebody else on my post. And I was like, when Ari gets here, matter of fact, when she gets here, just tell her, call me if I'm at the front desk.
Yeah, I
was so aggravated. I'm like, this is what we do. We're supposed to serve. Even if you're not sure, just say, give me 1 second. Let me ask somebody else who did. So I'm just sharing that with you because when it comes to us speaking and us sharing the stage and we're getting words of wisdom, even if you don't know what to do, in this particular situation, just take a second and figure it out. Like, you don't be looking at her like, oh, I was so mad. You probably don't know that I was cussing and everything. but also too, but to their defense, they didn't know how awesome you were. I was already exposed to you, so I was excited. But even still, it doesn't matter if we know the person or not. There is a level of service and decency and excellence
Yeah.
that you extend. And I always tell people that I love Healing Women to Heal a Nation for that, because I knew how to help people, but they taught me how to serve people.
Yeah, I love those ladies so much. I'm actually going to Model Kia's retreat in Bali that she's having in June.
Yes.
I love what they're doing. Yes, but I remember that, and I appreciate that. You hit me up in my DM. You was like, "Hey, are you still here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just chilling in my room, blah blah blah." And you was like, "I got you. Come down." And thank you so much for taking care of me. I appreciate that. I really do.
Yeah, no problem. And it's funny because it went for me, because it was supposed to be like one person gets like a person to make sure.
Yeah.
I had like 4 people. I was like, from this point forward, whoever is a speaker.
You told me down too.
I guess because I'm in that space and I'm in that role, and a lot of people they just want the spotlight, but they don't know how to serve. They want the stage, but they don't know how to. I mean, like, I've been toe to toe with people. Like, I've been to the point where you transitioning from your heels to your flats. And I feel like that's a lost culture. People just want to get there and make it, but there's so many things that my pastor says, which I love, that some things can be taught and some things can be caught. Right. So even with that, you don't even know this, right? So they're like, it's another story, Matthias gonna kill me, right? So she's like, they're like, where's Ari's bio? Where's Ari's bio? I'm like, I'll do it. I'll do it. What is going on? I was at the same training y'all was at. I don't understand. Getting what we're supposed to do, but I found everybody just doesn't have it. You know what I mean? So because I think I'm such a strong leader, I think strong leaders can be stronger servants.
Yeah.
It's like what to do. So I'm like, okay, the person's supposed to introduce you. They ain't got your bio. And they're like, where's the bio? And they're passing, you know what? Just, you go over there. I got this.
I've spoken at so many events, and I do live events, and I train sales team and volunteer team and all of that. So I usually just go with the flow. I never let anything, get to me, because I'm so used to it. But I did appreciate you coming in and just saving the day, making sure everything for me was nice and smooth, and it was a nice process. So yeah, but serving is big. I've served on some nice platforms, and I mean, I know how to I know how to sit and sit at the hem and serve just like anybody else, and that's something so important that we have to do. It's not always about being the head and the leader. You can be a leader in your servant position, which is what you were, so I appreciate that. That's a good message. And you do. Yeah, you need to do a little podcast about that.
What we talked about it, me and a couple of my friends, actually Mathina and then Tiffany Bethia, who was just another ambassador, because I think I was calling her like, let me tell you what happened, because I get all worked up. They just think it's funny, right? But yeah, and I think it's just important, because I think there's some things that you can read, you can get coached, but I think that some things, if you want to kind of just tying it back to the 6 and 7 figure brand, that you can't coach your way into. It's just literally by being in the atmosphere of someone who is doing something similar. Would you agree?
Girl, 120. Yes, absolutely. I absolutely. I have so many stories about that too. Just sitting in the spaces and being in the rooms or working up under someone without even making that investment has been so powerful for me. So powerful.
Yes, absolutely. So hold on. Dr. Bonini is just loving you. She's saying, yes, it doesn't matter. Service is the key. It should always be done with excellence, no matter who the person is. And that's how I act. I don't care. There's some people who don't know about their end. They're like, so, do you do this? Can I take you with me? I'm like, yeah, no, I'm doing this for this organization. Like, I'm not going to be your first armor bearer, right? Like, I'm doing it for conference. But they're like, oh my gosh, you were just on it. You were just like, everything that, we needed was you had. That's really important. So we have, wow, this is amazing. Dr. Bonita comes in again. She says, preach. Strong leaders should definitely be strong servants. This was a great show. Quinn, kudos for asking the right questions that make such a meaty podcast. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Absolutely awesome. So, Ari, this is the part where I actually want you to broadcast your brilliance, right? Because I know that there are several things that you do, and people right now are just loving your voice. They're loving your vibe. They're loving what you're doing. If someone wants to connect with you, work with you, learn from you, invest in you, what is the best way for them to do that?
Oh goodness, I have so many ways. Of course, my website, of course, always, because I have all my courses there. What is my website? arisquires.com. Very easy. My name is right there, arisquires.com. But I have some great stuff. What I do is my programs. Everybody always say that they get way more value than what they pay for it, and that's a compliment, and that's what I
Yeah.
want. But I have some great tools on there. I have a brand equity ebook with some courses. It's only right now 75% off. And I think that's important for all entrepreneurs, no matter where you are, just starting or 20 years like myself. We have to continuously build the value in our brand so that we can make a lot of money and help a lot of people and make a big impact in the world. I have some courses on there from starting from $19 all the way to $199. You can even do a brand assessment for free, where I'll look at your brand and give you an assessment of what I think is working for you, what may not be working, what you should improve upon, what you should change. And I'm doing it from a consumer perspective and a brand manager perspective. So yeah, arisquires.com. And make sure you guys follow me on social media. I'm the same on all platforms, but I'm a hoot on Facebook. Like Facebook is where I just feel like we all family. Let's just all, and then Instagram, Ari Squires speaks on our platform. Just follow me and let's just stay connected. Just period.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And one of the things I like to do too is a lot of people are catching you right now at your breakthrough, but they have no idea what your been through has been.
Yeah.
Can you just give us one snippet of advice or just inspiration for those
Mhm.
people who are like, I'm just trying to get there? You've been doing this for 20 years. I've been doing this for 20 minutes. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Mhm.
Or I've been doing this for 2 minutes. So can you just give us some insight on where you were and where you are now so people can see the evolution, because they just see you and all these social media platforms. They can go to you and watch you, you know what I mean, on the Roku television. But we know that you didn't wake up like this. We know that you worked for this,
Absolutely.
right? You
Absolutely.
worked for it. So give
Mhm.
us a little bit of inspiration for those people who are still in the I'm working on this process.
Yeah, well, just a quick story about me. Like I come up from the streets. Even though I wasn't raised in the streets, I was raised in a middle class home. I'm a single mom, super successful, strong Black woman, right? Took us out the hood, put us in the middle class. However, my little Black young impressionable mind loved the streets. I love the gang members, the drug dealers, the quick money. I love the party, the drugs, the alcohol. So my high school and all the way up until about 20 something, 22, 23, I was a little thug. I was in and out of jail. My last time I went to jail, I came out. My mom said, I'm sorry, I can't keep bailing you out. I can't keep saving you. You got to go on your own. So I was homeless for a short period of time,
Hmm.
literally sleeping in the back of rental cars, or whoever would let me borrow their car for the night, literally in the back, sleeping in cars. But I never gave up on myself. I knew that this was not going to be my life. I knew that I was going to be an inspiration somehow, some way to somebody. So I kept working. I kept my mind right. I stayed in strategic. I knew that there was going to be another way. And luckily, I met my husband and he was like, what are you doing? I was a straight A student. I graduated early from high school at the top of my class, number 3 in my class, just making a lot of dumb decisions. However, I turned it around. I moved from California. I moved to Washington, D.C., went to Howard, changed my environment. Changing your environment can literally save your life and change your life. And I use the same thing now. I'm continuously changing my environment. People always want to say, I want to create my own table. Forget sitting at no, you sit at other people's tables so you can learn, you can eat from those tables while you're building your own table.
Hmm.
So getting out of myself, out of that environment, I changed everything, even my name. I changed everything just so I can be great and be who I was born to be. And so I never gave up on myself, but I never forget where I come from. I'm always giving back financially, everything, but I never gave up on myself, and I always believed in myself. And I didn't let my story, incarceration, homelessness, being broke. When I met my husband, girl, I had $5 to my name. That was it. That was it. I had no job, period, homeless, all that. But I never stopped believing in myself. And so that's what the message I have for you guys today. Never stop believing in yourself, because when you believe in yourself, you understand and you know that anything is possible. That's why I wrote a book. All I see is possibility. I'm about to get a tattoo. All I see is possibility. because that's what you have to see and that's what you have to believe in.
Oh my gosh. So first of all, that is such a mic drop moment. Also, can you give me that insight? I want to buy that book for my best friend Corinne. And it's so funny because I knew a little bit about your story and I was hoping that she was still on, and she is. Her name is Corinne Seals, and she says, "Thank you for your testimony." She just came home after doing 10 years. And that's my best friend. I did the whole bid with her. People don't know about that. We're going to talk about that. So I'm just so happy. God is so aligned, because I was hoping that she was going to be on, because she's never seen me do this live.
Wow, I know she's proud of you. Oh,
yes. So I know it's
I'm supposed to be tough. Hold on.
but no, I appreciate that, because I love that all I see is possibility, because it's so right. And that's what I be trying to tell her. Like, some of the strongest people I know who have done some stuff, but now you have a story to tell and to overcome. And look at the woman that you've become because of that. That shaped you, that's molded you. And thank you for your transparency, because a lot of people don't want you to know that part. They want to keep that under the rug. They don't want you to know that part. So I just appreciate you. Looking, I can talk to you every day, all day, but I know you got time. You got stuff to do. You got a beautiful.
Man, I'm about to do. I'm tired.
Listen, so again, you guys are listening to the Speak Black Woman podcast with Miss Ari Squires. If you are not already connected to her or following her, she is Ari Squires Speaks, correct?
Yes.
On all social media platforms. If something that she said really resonate with you, make sure you connect with her. Also, check out her books, her coaching program. She's the real deal, y'all. I don't co-sign mess, right? So I'm letting y'all know right now that she is absolutely amazing. I mean, to one point, I think you were having something and you needed like some support. And I'm like, if you weren't in Atlanta, I'll be there. You know what I mean? And, I was here in Baltimore. So let people know one more time how they can connect with you. I know I said it, but I want them to hear it from your mouth. Broadcast your brilliance. How can somebody connect with you and possibly work with you?
Yeah, just go to my website, arisquires.com. Everywhere you can work with me, all my products, from my films to my books to my courses to even getting me on the phone, it's all there. arisquires.com.
Awesome. Well, listen, y'all, you heard it. This is another episode of the Speak Black Woman podcast. You got information, you got life tips on how to build a 6-figure brand, as well as just get some regular stuff that you can just start practically. And also, hold on for a second. The comments keep coming in. Yes, the anointing, change the name in Jesus' name. So many people in the Bible had their names changed. God did something new in them. God bless you. So they're just loving you out here. So again, if you like this, make sure you join us each and every Wednesday at 4:00 Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to interview other amazing guests like Ari. If you can't catch me live, it's always going to be a replay. And then also we upload this to every podcast. So on Fridays, it's available, so you can listen at your leisure. But either way, thank you so much, Ari, for joining us. I know that I got me a page of notes. I know that other people got a page of notes. And again, connect with Ari, because she truly can be a blessing to your business or your brand. So Ari, thank you so much for joining us. And I appreciate you letting us hear your voice.
And thank you guys for listening. And thank you for having me, because I don't do this. I
know you.
Okay.
I had to get her, y'all. I was persistent. I was like, okay, how many assistants I got to talk to? How many emails I got to send? Oh, we're going to get her. I want her, So, no, I appreciate your time. And again, people are saying, hi, ladies. Thanks, Ari. This was wonderful. So I'm glad that they got value. So I'm not going to hold you. Thank you again for your time. And I look forward to just literally learning and earning. And any nuggets you drop, I'm picking them up. So I appreciate you.
All right, we got to get you down this revenue room in Atlanta when you're ready, girl.
Listen, don't let me with a good time. They got flights for $49. I'll be there with a mask on. You ain't got to let me know.
But I do COVID rapid tests for my event, so I'll send you something.
Listen, sounds good. All right. Well, I will hopefully see you sooner than later. Have a good one.
Thanks, you guys. Thank you, Quinn.
No problem.